Guys, I'm just building the wall for the understairs toilet. I've taken out the old brick one with a clinker block like this. This is the understairs cupboard, and I'm now rebuilding it because it was drafty, it was cold, it was super thin, and by doing it in 6x2 I can fit more insulation in, and it also gives me space for a 40mm waste pipe to kind of run out along here, because the basin on the understairs toilet will be here and it will flow into the waste there. So 8x3 around there. I'm going to support it properly and all the rest of it. I mean, it's not load bearing. In fact, this is just like a tiny little stud wall on a concrete block here. But anyway, none of that's really relevant, to be honest. It's not an especially interesting part of the project. What I wanted to show you is these stairs are obviously original. They've been put in with the house. Look how out of level this is. Now, bear in mind, this portion is the bit that's on the wall. And the wall hasn't raised up over years. If anything, it would have dropped or sagged slightly. But look how high that is there, and this timber here has dropped. So either the floor down here has dropped, or they were put in on the wonk. Now, what does that mean for me, or why am I saying it to you? I am going to have to build this little portion of this wall out of plumb, or out of level, so that it's in line with this. Because if I build it straight, this isn't supported anymore. And if I level this up by pulling this down or pushing that up or whatever, when you walk up and down the stairs, you're going to feel like a drunken sailor. All of a sudden, you're flat and you're level and everything. So I am going to have to build ever so slightly out of level to kind of work with what I've got, really. But I just thought I'd show you that this is another reason why, when you're building in an old house, agonizing over, you know, whether something is dead between the lines or whether it's just touching the lines or anything like that. Like, some of you guys give me real stick about, oh, it was in the lines, but it was touching. Look at this. This house has been here 100 years. And when you walk up and down the stairs, you cannot feel that. You don't notice it. So let's not major on the minor. Let's just make sure it's built safely and securely and crack on. Just another little confirmation about how out of line and level things are. So this laser here is straight on the edge of that timber. Okay, all the way along there. Follow it up. Look at this. We're about 1 centimetre in there, and we're right at the edge of it there. So nothing's square in old buildings. I'm going to have to work with this. What my plan is, I know what I just said. Ignore what I just said. I'm going to build the studs. Oh, and I've screwed these down into here. I didn't want to shoot with the nail gun. I've got gas pipes and water pipes, so I wanted the control of a screw. So I've screwed it, and actually screws are stronger. The reason we use nail guns is because they're quicker. But nails do move over time. You know, this is going to be under a staircase. It's on floorboards. That movement can pull nails out. So screws are good. I'm going to put the studs straight up. I'll fix them to this wall, and I will come straight up under here, and I'll notch it out to sit under this staircase. So I'll actually support the staircase at the height that the staircase is at, and that way there's not going to be any drop, because you can see unsupported there is quite a bit of flex and movement in it, so I'm going to be supporting that. This is all in, nice and secure, very sturdy. What I did, rather than putting a head plate like I mentioned, just notched these out, given a little bit of space, mainly actually because I didn't need to support this tread here. That tread has already been supported, but I have supported this little head plate here, and they're all the same distance away. And the reason there's just this tiny little lip at each end is because that's how you get it plumb down this way. So each of these, well, I say that's how you get it. That's how it remained plumb there. So that's that. Now what I can do is I can build on the other side of this wall, basically. Carry on. I'll be blocking out this little section to give it a bit more bearing for the 6x2. So I can frame straight on top of that. That's going to sit on there and it won't go anywhere. What is tricky for me to do at this stage, however, is framing and knowing exactly how high this wall is going to go, because I've got this staircase coming up through here. So what I'm more likely to do is leave this portion, and then I will on this portion of the wall, I will frame up to the underside of the staircase. I can run cables if I wanted to, I can insulate it, yada yada yada, but this toilet seat here, the ceiling height is going to get progressively higher up to here from this point there where the stairs are running. So that kind of concludes this section of it. I'll be doing this bit here in 3x2 at the back, because I've got some 3x2s. On this side, I'm going to turn my attention to this side now because it's going to be 6x3 on here. I've got to be super careful of this gas pipe. So I'm actually going to put some bits of timber in the way. I don't know if this is, I'm just grabbing the first bit that's to hand. What I need to do is do something like this. I mean, that actually works really nicely. That allows the timber to be supported on top of it and also offers a little bit of protection to that gas pipe under there. It's run now, it doesn't need to be changed, but I can't be sitting a 6x3 on the wall like that. That's not sufficient. And I also don't want to be shooting nails down and accidentally hitting that gas pipe. So I'm going to stick a little 6x3 across, running in parallel in between these joists. Just gives a bit of protection to this guy and this guy. Yeah, the wall can be built. Just future-proofing for anybody that should this floor ever need to be lifted. I've written it in 3 different locations, and what I've done is I've notched out a little bit on here so that it sits on top of these clips. And then what I can do is I can gently sit that on there like this. That can now get screwed in from this side and from that side to support it. And that's that. Super, super solid. I can stand and jump on that and it's going nowhere. Put a couple on this side floating, you can see they're nice and high. The other ones are on this side. 1, 2, 3, super solid. I can build out and I can frame on this wall like that. Nice and supported. Job's a good one. And this framing goes the whole way across and will end up boxing in that pipe within the wall. And then in the toilet I will leave a little kind of cubby hole type thing that allows us access here to this rodding point under there. Right, these are in and secure. Super, super sturdy. Bit of wobble on the timber, but it's not going anywhere. Same with that one. And look, touching very, very nicely. I don't know if you can sight down through there, but we're just past that waste pipe there on that side. Nice and tight and square, and it just misses it. Even the collar there where the pipe is. So the plasterboard on the inside of this wall, on the inside of this downstairs toilet, will float straight over that. What I am going to do is I'm going to wrap this waste pipe in insulation. I don't really like hearing the sound of rushing poo water. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Post a comment if it's a particular joy of yours, but it's not. I'm not a massive fan of that sound. So I'm going to be wrapping this in a bit of mineral insulation. Obviously I'll leave the cap there so that no one burns their hands on fiberglass, but I'm going to wrap it and I'll obviously insulate the rest of the walls. What my plan is, PIR is not generally used internally for internal walls because whilst it's rigid and transfers basically no heat, its rigid structure makes it very, very good at transferring noise, which is not great. Obviously here, because these are 6x2s, I'm going to be using 100mm PIR, so I'll still have quite a bit of depth of space left. So I'm going to actually fill this difference here. I'm going to put PIR in, then I'm going to overlay it with mineral wool insulation. So it will deaden the noise, but it will insulate it really, really well. And look, it's overkill, I know, but I have a ton of the stuff left over because I overcalculated doing it at the middle of the night and I was a bit too tired. So all of that stack over there, we're going to be putting it in the flooring as we're specified to anyway. Anything that's left over will be going in the stud walls to help deaden that noise basically. So yes, that is really good. The last one I'm going to put in is going to sit just on the corner here and it's going to run up just on the inside of this, up underneath or kind of just next to that 8x3 there as the ledger board. So I am really, really pleased. It's going really well. One more to do and this little portion is almost finished. And I get that this is overkill, I know that, but it's my house.
Yep.
There's no profit here, I can do whatever the hell I want. and I don't want to hear the sound of poo. And this is acoustic insulation, so...
Yeah, because actually you don't notice it when it's on the outside of the house, but we have heard it loads, haven't we? When,
we've heard it loads, yeah.
Because you're working in this space.
And also, like,
you know when someone's
some of these timbers are going to be touching up against the edge of this, so the sound does have the opportunity to transfer through.
Yeah, exactly. Gives you stage fright when you need to go to the loo nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when the plumber's working down here, and I've got to drop a bomb, I feel really bad for him. I shout down an apology before I go. Right, that's done. So I'll get another little bit. We'll finish this off, and then I can get this timber. I can tuck the timber wall up. Simple as that. Nicely wrapped. A little bit of gape in there. It doesn't overly matter. But zip ties and 100mm of fiberglass mineral wool type insulation. I've draped some over here. I've not cable tied it because we haven't set the final portion yet, but I had a little bit left over, so that can drape on there. That's fine. Left a nice opening gap there, so you can get in here without too much hassle. Now I can really snug this final timber up in there. It'll be really nice and tight. Help hold this in, and yeah, that'll be this little trio done. And that is beautiful. But we're good there and there, which is nice. And it's the same pretty much. It's the same at the top, same at the bottom. It's sort of different in the middle. There's just a little bit of bow on that section. I'm not going to lose sleep over that though. Eagle-eyed among you will notice that I can't put a noggin in here, which is a bit of a pain, but not the end of the world really, in the grand scheme of things. I'll put noggins across here. I'll probably, because of the height of it, I'll probably end up putting 2 noggins, top and bottom, just so the plasterboard's got something nice and easy to fix too. So that's now done. I can then turn my attention to framing out on that side for the door frame, basically, and same on that side over there. At my wife's excellent suggestion, I've basically just put another timber in here, split the difference, put another timber in. So instead of having a noggin going across, I have a timber that goes the whole way up and is secured in. So that is really sturdy now, which is lovely. They're nice and level the whole way across. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, touching, or about 1 millimetre away if they're not exactly on, which is great for all you office boy builder bingo drinking game people. It's plumb and it's level. It's things like this. Do you really want to be hearing that all your life? No sir. So we'll be insulating that. Same as this here, it will be that's insulated. That'll deaden the noise quite a bit. Still left a little opening there. Plasterboard over the front, yada yada yada. So now I can put some 6x3s over here, up this side, 3x2s along the back. I'm not going to be doing those until I've got the staircase in, because I don't want to screw myself over, shoot myself in the foot, whatever else. So that was highly successful. I think that was a good morning's work. Now it's time for lunch. Oh, and we've bought a fireplace. We're going to be sticking a fireplace in over there. So that'll be coming up in a future video. You'll see me ripping that out, and you'll see me installing a new one. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching this later in the future, and I've already posted it, I'll post a link to that up here. But there won't be a link to that until I have created that video. So that'll be coming up in a future episode. Very nice.